Hello again, Michael Ware with the Iowa Firearms Coalition. We have with us Mandee Shivers. She's running for Senate District 11 here in Iowa, and we're adding to our candidate files. Now, what we've been doing, and then we've been kept this very fair across the board, and I think that it's good to have these kinds of universal standards in situations like this. Let me share a tab for those of you watching, for those of you listening. I will be able to walk you through this. But we have coined the Second Amendment as the universal litmus test for politicians. I would say it goes further than that. If you understand the Second Amendment well, you're ready to lead and be a better part of Western culture. But for this purpose, we're going to ask these 4 questions. We have Mandee was kind enough to set aside some time to visit with us today. So we'll ask the questions, give you the context. She'll respond to us. And then what we'd like to do is turn the floor over to Mandee so that she can tell us about Senate District 11, what she brings to the table and why she's running. So, Mandee, are you good with that?
I'm good with all of it. Just one correction. It is Mandee Shivers, just like you're cold.
Oh, I did that wrong already.
You did. That's totally okay. You were not the first or last. It'll be all right.
I apologize. We went through an interview the other day, and the lady kept calling me Mark, and I'm like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Humility's good. And maybe this will help people remember the name. Maybe that's very good. So, Mandee Shivers. Yes. Excuse me, not Shivers.
Shivers.
Yeah, Shivers. Okay.
Good.
So with that, just so everybody keeps that straight, running across the ticker at the bottom of the screen, as Shivers, Shivers, shiversforsenate.com. So we'll jump right in. Thank you for the correction, by the way, Mandee. Very kind.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. So history has shown that making a rule or posting a sign declaring a place a no-gun zone, such as a school, does nothing to protect the people gathered there. In fact, there is irrefutable evidence that some of the worst mass murderers specifically chose those sites to avoid armed resistance. Federal law and some states' laws allow a person with a valid permit to carry a firearm in schools and on school property. The question is this, Mandee. Will you support changing Iowa code to support a permit to carry being sufficient for any school?
Absolutely. I think that that's very true, is that it's targeted where it says no guns are allowed. That's where we see the highest levels of violence. And it doesn't make good sense to me that our most valuable assets, our kids, are unprotected. It seems just, trying to think how to put this politely, but it just seems a little crazy, right? We protect everything else that's valuable to us. Why wouldn't we, first and foremost, make sure that our kids are in a protected space?
Agreed 100%. We'll go forward with the second question. I have to resist the temptation to expound on this every time we talk about this. So I'm trying, Mandee, to keep it in check. We'll move forward. And I'll turn it over to you, and you can expound any way that you like. When an employer bans the possession of a firearm or ammunition in a private vehicle on employer property, employees must face a choice of employees must face a choice of risking dismissal by ignoring the rule or being disarmed from the time they leave home until they return, no matter how long their commute or how many places they need to visit. IFC believes that the proper place to draw the line between the rights of employers and the rights, including the expectation of privacy and the right to be armed in self-defense, is at the locked door of a private vehicle. The laws of at least 26 states agree. The question is this: will you support legislation to protect Iowans from the de facto firearm ban on private and public employer parking lots?
Yes. In a short, yes. Your vehicle is a part of your private property, and employers do not have access to your private property. They can't control what happens in that private property. It's the same as saying that I can't have a gun in my home to say that I can't have one in my car. They cannot control everywhere that I'm going in between, so they don't get that stop either.
Fantastic. Here's our third premise. Since 1934, federal law has tightly regulated but does not prohibit the private ownership of machine guns, suppressors, short barrel rifles, shotguns, destructive devices, explosive, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Iowa terms these offensive weapons. Since 2016 and 17, Iowa has allowed for the private ownership and use of suppressors, short barrel rifles, and shotguns. The repeal of the state's earlier prohibition has not resulted in any apparent problems. Iowa is one of only 14 states that ban the private possession of machine guns, even when in full compliance with federal law. Nationwide, crime committed with lawfully possessed machine guns has been almost non-existent. IFC believes Iowa's ban on offensive weapons is redundant and unnecessary. The question is this: will you support removing 724.1 and the related statutes from Iowa Code? That's where the offensive weapons clauses are.
Yeah, have we known very many felons to follow the law?
I don't know of any.
Okay, so if they're carrying around these offensive weapons, then I don't see a reason why I can't as well.
Fair enough. I experienced.
Sorry, I probably shouldn't be sassy.
That's okay. I experienced so many mic drop moments asking these questions and seeing the answers, but it's very warming to my heart. So let's do the fourth one here. So Iowa Firearms Coalition advocates for the creation of a specially Gadsden flag license plate in Iowa, symbolizing Second Amendment rights and the opposition to government overreach. The plate is intended to be a voluntary funding mechanism for 2A educational programs through the additional fee. Despite passing the Iowa House with bipartisan support 2 years consecutively, the measure failed in the Senate, prompting the IFC to urge Iowans to contact their legislators in support of the plate, which they see as a reflection of the will of the people, especially following the passage of the state's Freedom Amendment. That passed by 2/3 majority, by the way, of vote of the people. The historical "Don't Tread on Me" motto of the Gadsden flag is highlighted as a powerful statement against government intrusion. The question is this: will you support the Gadsden plate legislation that directs voluntary funding for 2A education, safety, and training?
I think that is such an easy and creative way to add funding to the organization and to the cause without it. You're not sending out mass emails. You're not doing things, and it's entirely optional. People don't have to choose the license plate if they don't want to, but if that's how they choose to support and fund the organization, I think that's awesome. So yes, I support.
Thank you. Very, very kind. Thank you very much. Okay, so as a side note, I'm usually not this silly, but I'd consider buying another car just so I could have another one of those plates in my driveway. I don't know. I don't know if the wife would go for that or not.
Tell you
All
what,
right.
you can pay for the plate on my car. How about that?
I'll tell you, I'll do you one better. Okay, depending on two things. We get this legislation, you get elected, I'll buy your first year's plate. How about that?
Heck yes. I like it. I like it. I will proudly support.
You've got the commitment right here. We'll do it. Okay, so Mandee, thank you for being very jovial, very easy to get along with. I appreciate this. It's fun to visit with folks like you. Now, so Mandee Shivers, I don't want to get that wrong, running for Iowa Senate District 11. We've spoke about 4 pieces of legislation, 4 positions of movement IFC's ushering forward. So if there are any comments on the Second Amendment, go ahead and offer those. Any thoughts that you have there? And what else do people need to know about you? As always, you can go to shivers4senate.com. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. So I guess I do need to do one correction on the machine guns piece. I said, do felons usually follow, are they following the same piece? And that should be like all criminals, right? I don't know many criminals in general. Maybe they haven't been caught yet. So felons is probably the wrong term. But anyway, I realized, I think I used a wrong word choice there. But anyway, as far as 2A, so I firmly believe that the right to keep and bear arms is a fundamental liberty. So it's not a government granted privilege. This is rooted in our God-given ability to be able to defend ourselves. And it's essential to preserving our personal safety, our family security, and just the freedom of all law-abiding citizens. So that is clean cut where I stand on 2A. From personal experiences. So you can see on my website there, I'm a wife. My husband and I have been married for almost 20 years. We have 4 teenagers. We're homesteaders. We have walked alongside sex traffic survivors and hosted teen moms in our home for over 15 years. With that, all those individuals have come either from the juvenile justice system, FBI referrals, and so on and so forth. We've had a variety of people in our home. I don't feel so great to say that I can't protect my home with the colorful individuals that have come along in the life that we've walked. So we are very safe. We have gun safes. We have locks. We have all the things. We are not currently in foster care or hosting anyone at this time. Just where our life is at with 4 teenagers, we found that we needed to be focused in that space. But I am still working alongside survivors. No one's just living in our house, for clarity. No one's in our house right now. But in the past, we have had multiple experiences where I've been walking with survivors, with young women, and we have been approached very aggressively at our home, out in public, to remove the people that are with us from me physically. You can't see, I'm sitting down. I'm on a good day, I'm 5 foot. My right to carry and to defend those that I'm walking with, as well as my home and my children, is something that I hold very near and dear to my heart, because I've been in situations where it could have gotten ugly very, very fast. I appreciate our law enforcement, but if I need to wait for you to arrive, we've probably already got to a dangerous space.
Yeah.
So that is where I stand on that. I've been working legislation out of the Capitol for quite a few years. My heart is parental rights. And protecting from government overreach. We've seen how quickly we can lose our rights. I don't know if anyone remembers 2020, but there was a big slide in what we were and were not allowed to do. And that just, that riled me up just a little bit. It's just, no, you crossed a line. You crossed a line. And so I really started heavily re-engaging at that point. I grew up in a politically engaged family, so there'd already been some movement for quite a while, but just got really deep back into legislation at that point. And my heart's just to speak for those that don't have the ability to speak for themselves at the Capitol. So that would be survivors and my kids, right? They don't have a voice. So that is what has driven me for a lot of the legislation that I've been working. But ultimately, the government has just taken too many liberties, and I see them sliding. And so we just need to take a few steps back. I think less government is good. I think that we need more senators, more legislators in our Capitol that are willing to be a strong conservative voice, and that are willing to work together, but also to stand up when things just need to get done. So we need some fresh energy. We need a Senate that's willing to work together to get some good legislation passed. As you mentioned in your intro, there was some bills that passed in the House and they got stalled up in the Senate. That's a very common story. If you spend any time walking around the Capitol, that's a regular story. And so we need to get some senators in that move things through.
Okay. Anything else that we need to know about Mandee Shivers and the Senate District 11 race?
If you don't know where Senate District 11 is, I guess that would be a really good clarifier. So Senate District 11, thank you, there's my map. That is all of Warren County plus Knoxville. I say it's kind of a funny district. It looks a little bit like a turtle. You got like your body, there's Warren County, and then the head is Knoxville. So it's a funny cut district. There's a wide variety of people in that district. You've got everywhere from Norwalk, which we could call mini West Des Moines, just little West Des Moines, down to Knoxville and New Virginia. And those are much more rural farm communities and districts. And so it's been really fun, super fascinating, just meeting with all of the city mayors, chief of police, and just the people in the district, and hearing the very broad spectrum of concerns that they have based on this funny little district, right? You've got some of your Polk County districts and everybody's kind of got the same thoughts going. You get down here and it's so widespread, and it's really been a blessing just to get to know the district better. Some of these things I had never considered. I live more in the farm community area. I was like, oh, yep, hadn't even considered that. The Norwalk mayor is pretty fun. He's really advocating to put a Buc-ee's in at Norwalk. I had no clue we could be getting a Buc-ee's in my district. That kind of gets me excited. So it's just been a lot of fun conversations. And I think that our legislators, their role, their job is to be the voice of their district. And if I don't know my district, then I can't be that voice. So it's been really important for me just to get out, get to know everybody, to be able to speak to the best of my ability on their behalf.
Fantastic. So tell us this before we let you go. Obviously, we need people to navigate to your site. So it's shiversforsenate.com. But they can donate there to your campaign. They can help you out. I assume you have contact information where people can link up, engage, advocate. Is there anything special we need to know about that?
No, just underneath that family picture, which that's my husband and my 4 kids there. There's a donate button right there. Please follow it. That'd be great. Though I am very fiscally responsible, it does cost something to run a campaign. And we would just really love your support to help get there. There is no donation too small. If you would like a meeting, you scroll down to the bottom, there is a connect spot. We also have socials. You can reach out to me through there, but there's a contact us spot there. And that I'm a pretty great communicator. I've been a mom for a long time. I've worked ministry a long time. I've learned to be a pretty good communicator. I do get back to everyone that has reached out. I'd be happy to set up meet and greets in the area. A lot of people think that if they don't live in District 11, they can't support. That is absolutely not true. We need good legislators in the Capitol across the state to get things through. So I can accept donations from anywhere. I can accept partnership from anywhere.
Fantastic. Thank you. Mandee Shivers, running for Iowa Senate District 11. Thank you for a little bit of time this morning. Again, that's shiversforsenate.com. Thank you this morning, at the moment, rather, for coming on and talking with us about those things, answering those 4 vital questions for our legislative agenda. And we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Michael. Have a good one.
And you. Bye now.